Sir Handel and Peter Sam had been working hard while Skarloey was away at the works. The owner gave them buffers and even bought a new diesel engine named Rusty. But Sir Handel was still grumping. One day, Gordon saw him shunting and laughed. "My controller makes me shunt," Sir Handel said. "And take trucks to the quarries as well. I'm highly sprung and I suffer dreadfully." "Oh, our controllers don't understand our feelings," sympathized Gordon. "No, if you were ill," he winked, "you couldn't take those trucks now, could you?" "Good idea," said Sir Handel. "I'll try that." "I don't feel well," he groaned the next morning. There wasn't time to examine Sir Handel, so some of his trucks were coupled behind Peter Sam's coaches, and Rusty promised to follow with the rest. "Hehehe," sniggered Sir Handel. But no one noticed. They were all too busy. Peter Sam didn't mind the extra work. He left the coaches at the top station and trundled cheerfully through the woods. The trucks clattering behind him in an agitated way, but he paid no attention. It might have been better if he had. Slates come from quarries high up in the hills. They travel down in trucks on a steep railway called an incline. Empty trucks from the bottom are hinged to a rope. Lead ones at the top are hinged to one another. By their weight, the loaded trucks run down the incline, pulling up the empty ones. There are strong brakes in the winding house at the top to prevent loaded trucks from running down too fast. The ropes are strong as well. But in spite of this, trucks sometimes play dangerous games. Peter Sam never bumped trucks unless they misbehaved. Sir Handel bumped trucks even if they were good. So none of the trucks liked him and played tricks on him wherever they could. Peter Sam pushed the empty trucks to a siding where his fireman hitched them to the rope. Then, on another siding, he pulled back some loaded trucks. With these in front of him, he stood waiting. More loaded trucks stood at the top of the incline, ready to come down. They didn't see Peter Sam and thought that he was Sir Handel. The trucks wanted to pay him out. They began to move. "Faster! Faster!" they grumbled. They reached halfway and gathered speed. "Let's pay him back! Let's pay him back!" they yelled. "No, no," wailed the empty trucks. "It's Peter Sam! It's Peter Sam!" But it was no use. The loaded trucks strained at the rope. It broke with a big crack. They roared. Hurling down the hill, Peter Sam heard them. He shut his eyes. His driving fireman took cover in the cab. The crash jerked Peter Sam violently backwards. "Oh," he shivered. "I didn't expect a cold bath." The water poured from the channel that was smashed by flying slates. He was stoked from funnel to cab. "Beep, beep," he spluttered. He was glad when he heard Rusty's answering toot. "Bust my buffers," exclaimed Rusty. "What a mess! Never mind, Peter Sam. We'll get you out of there." He soon pulled Peter Sam away from the water and the trucks. Peter Sam felt battered. His funnel was cracked and his boiler was dented. But he was glad his driving firemen were unhurt. He thanked Rusty and limped slowly home to the shed. Rusty stayed to help clear the wreckage. "I'm sorry about your accident, Peter Sam," said Sir Handel. "I always stand well back. The trucks don't like me." "Why didn't you warn me about that?" "I didn't think about it." "You never do," said a stern voice. "But you can start now while you're doing Sam's work as well as your own. That will teach you to pretend to be Sir Handel did indeed start thinking. He thought about Finn controllers and he thought about Gordon. He really wanted to give Gordon a piece of his mind.